Boy, oh boy, did some took some copious notes on this next record. That did a little bit of research on it. Maybe spent too much time on it, little research. But boy, I tell you, making its debut on my fantasy playlist, February 6, 1999. First time most people have heard of Eminem. My name is Slim Shady. Eminem. And when I first saw the video, now my thinking was, this is a novelty song. This guy's a novelty act. Like he's likely to come and go. Oh, I love novelty records. Don't get me wrong. This was a refreshing record. It's sort of cynical and tongue in cheek at the same time, seemingly. But it turns out that Eminem, he was very serious. Boy, he came out with some serious joints later on. Later on, in the 2000s, early 2010s. His association with Dr. Dre, the legendary Dr. Dre. Now, the story about Eminem when he first came out, what driblets I picked up was that all the big rappers of the 90s, when they heard Eminem before he got big, they're like, gosh, dog. Missy Elliott put in a word for Eminem and Dr. Dre. I'll get into Dr. Dre in just a minute. Dr. Dre, the gangster rapper, the things that he did, those great gangster tunes he did with Snoop Dogg back in the early 90s. And there was, was it Gangster Killer or something? I can't remember. What was the name of that record they did together? Well, the title will come to me later. Let's get back on Eminem. Making its debut at number 31. Eminem, My Name is Slim Shady. It's from his debut album, Slim Shady, back in 1999, his major debut album. It samples a tune, I just found this out, it's by a person named, I had to research this record a little bit. I've never heard of this record before. I must have missed it. Labi Safri. Agata, which came out in 1975. It's sampled in Slim Shady. My name is Slim Shady. Marshall Mathers is his real name, and Eminem's real name. This record did pretty well. It was a hot R&B hip hop record. Uh, Barely made top 40 on Billboard's Hot 100. Went to number 36, but it went to number 2 in England. Number 2 in England, number 4 in Ireland, number 13 Australia. Did very well overseas. Know a little bit about his past. I'm sure everybody's probably aware of Eminem's turbulent past, his turbulent relationship with his mother. The little bits and pieces that I picked up was that he was kicked out of school. Well, actually, I take that back. He spent 3 years in the ninth grade because he didn't show up for class and poor grades. By the time he was 17 years old, he quit. But he took up rapping when he was 14 years old. He got kicked out of the house on down the road. He moved to Los Angeles. He was in this huge rap competition called the Rap Olympics. Now, this was a big ado right here. This was a field. You got to understand the rap hip hop field, particularly in the 90s, and even to a large extent today, was dominated by African Americans. You got this little white kid, this scrawny white kid, trying to make it among the big league. But I tell you, fortune smiled on Eminem. He came in second in this rap competition, the Rap Olympics. He came in second. And that's not all. You talk about luck. The staff of Interscope Records, they were at that performance. They were at that competition. They watched. They sent the EP. He had an EP out. Eminem's EP. They sent a copy of his EP to the to the CEO of Interscope Records. His name was Jimmy. Now there are several ways of pronouncing his name: Iovine or Iovine. Iovine. I'll just pronounce it as Jimmy Iovine. Jimmy Iovine, the CEO of Interscope Records, he played the EP to Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, the legendary rapper, he was a record producer. He founded Aftermath Entertainment. And let me read you a quote by Dr. Dre. This is what Dr. Dre said. Dr. Dre, also founding member of NWA, and keep in mind that Eminem was a big fan of Dr. Dre of NWA. He was a little starstruck when he hooked up with Dr. Dre. But here's a quote from Dr. Dre. This is what he said. Dr. Dre, quote, "In my entire career in the music industry, I have never found anything from a demo tape or a CD. When Jimmy played this, I said, find him, now," quote, unquote. And he was criticized. Some of his associates said, "Man, what are you doing hiring this white rapper? Are you nuts, man? Kid's white." But Dr. Dre didn't look back. Here's another quote from Dr. Dre. He was definitely, as far as he was concerned, he made the right call. Here's another quote from Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, quote, "I don't give a F if you're purple. If you could kick it, I'm working with you." Quote, unquote, by Dr. Dre. Yes. Another favorite record. Remember, does anybody out there remember? I remember watching this video on MTV. It was back in, I guess it was back in the fall of '99. Might have been early 2000. Guilty Conscious, where Eminem and Dr. Dre, they're having this mock fight, and Dr. Dre grabbed his neck, and it's like, keep their heads ringing. That was another one I believe Dr. Dre did back in the day. Man, he was badass. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg back in the day, and Eminem. Eminem with his debut record, My Name is Slim Shady, making his debut on my fantasy playlist at number 31. Fantasy playlist of February 6, 1999.